manager for your project.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
I'm Mike Delisio. Hey there, everybody.
And this is our bi-weekly show where we talk about Kickstarter projects and tell you kind of our first impressions of them. We pretty much only take a look at projects that are ending in the next 2 weeks, because in 2 weeks we'll take a look at projects ending those next 2 weeks.
Oh, bi-weekly. I get it.
Fortnightly.
Fortnightly, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't take a look at everything, so, it's just kind of things that we look at pretty much everything that's popular, and then things that might interest me, and maybe a dice Kickstarter or two.
Maybe.
Those interest you, Tom?
Just one dice Kickstarter this week.
Are there any rubber ducks this week? Any rubber ducks this week?
I expect to see rubber duckies stuck in all sorts of things. Dice, soap, a coffee mug, more rubber duckies, I say.
That's right.
Well, let's get started with a very big Kickstarter going on right now, starring Katie Sackhoff, Sorcerer Endbringer. That's probably not her, but doesn't that look like her?
Not to me, but I guess maybe, yeah.
That is Starbucks standing there, offered me some.
Oh my gosh. Sorcerer Endbringer is the follow-up, of course, to Sorcerer, which is a two-player card game. I think you can play multiplayer, but it's mainly a two-player card game. Kind of feels like a collectible card game, but of course you get it all in the box. I like it. I enjoyed the original one. I thought the combat was a little outside of the box, a little slower and sort of weirder than I would like. But the game shines with the sort of thematic and world building that they've done, and it looks like this one continues to do that. Illustrations are a little icky, a little goopy, a little realistic. Lots of vampires and weird mushroom people and strange things. I like the vibe here. Very turn of the century London evil stuff.
I'm a little surprised.
I don't
this
like
doesn't
the
look
vibe
like
of the art.
I'm sorry. This doesn't look like a game that you would be interested in for some reason. See, you enjoyed Sorcerer, the base game? Yeah,
because it's a card game. I mean, it's again, kind of like a collectible card game vibe, feeling. And I like the theme. I like Gothic themes. I like, the whole London in the late 1800s vibe is what this game, what it's doing. So I do like it.
I haven't played the original game. I don't know.
I have not.
Roy played it with me. I think he liked it as well. So,
all righty. Riot Quest, Wintertime Wasteland. Actually, I think this is Riot Quest 2, Season 2 or something. The trailer was like trying to be both funny and also saying, hey, it's a miniatures campaign. Like a skirmish game. Did they say in here, I don't see, do you have to put the miniatures together?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do not know.
Yeah, this one did feel a little bit at odds for me. I'm not a big miniatures. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is great for some folks, but the aesthetic of sort of like the what's the font, the Comic Sans looking font and the character silliness, and they're like, yeah, whatever, it's a goofy game of goofiness coupled with we're a serious game with serious miniatures and like 4 miniature painters. Those two things in my head anyway are duking it out right now. You know what I mean?
They're showing the whole miniatures here. They must not be assemblies.
I would think so.
Privateer
Press. Privateer Press is relatively well established with these types of games, though, right? So I do think that they kind of have a niche that it maybe isn't yours or mine. I don't know if Tom, if you've played any of their games.
I'm not a big fan of Privateer Press games of the ones I've played.
I
feel like they're too rules heavy and not good game heavy.
Gotcha.
It's like the most roundabout way of saying they're not so good.
Well, Here's the other thing.
This one-
When I look at this game, it doesn't
Yeah.
look original at all.
Right,
All the
right.
art and everything, it looks like Arcadia Quest or something else, you know.
Yeah,
Again,
a
I'm
little.
not sure I would want to get into this kind of like super heavy, complicated game, but it's also, I know that there's a certain charm in not taking itself too seriously,
Yeah.
but this one's going too far the other way. I want you to care a little bit. You know what I mean?
And
This
look
game's
at-
like, whoa.
The amount of text on those cards is a little off-putting to me as well.
Yeah, it's either a goofy game or it's not. Pick
Right.
one. I don't know.
All right. The original Sherlock Holmes and his Baker Street Irregulars. This is a awfully long title for
Yes.
what seems to be a somewhat small game from a company that I don't know much about, and with a video that did not explain anything. It just looks like a small little back and forth generic Sherlock Holmes. I mean, this theme's been overdone, very obviously.
Right. The theme here screams free.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm feeling this one. It kind of seems a little deck building-ish, but not really. It's like a card game. I mean, you collect the tokens for the Baker Street Irregulars or the BS High, as they say. You spend them to buy new cards. You make it's rummy-esque combinations.
Right.
It seems okay. This seems.
Maybe I'd like this one.
I might like it, right? But I have a hard time telling just from looking at some of the animations in the video. It feels indie. It does feel that. There's a certain charm to that, absolutely.
Sure.
But for me, the Sherlock Holmes theme has to give me something pretty distinct at this point for me to be attracted by that.
Right.
But what do you call this for short? So the like consulting detective.
Well, if
right?
you want to like shorten it, it's Sherlock Holmes and BSI. I just call it really short BS.
So moving on. Here's the Dice Project.
You
Oh,
asked. Walk right into that.
Discover hidden treasures.
Here we
All
go.
right, here we go.
I gotta say,
What's going to be in?
there's
what
one set
weird-
of dice in here that I think are gorgeous.
Oh, let's see if I think they're the same ones. Let's slide down to the different colors.
Yeah.
I actually
you
think
think-
they're all pretty, but I would pick my favorite is the Shimmering Abyss.
Shimmering Abyss. That's good stuff.
Shut up.
Shimmering abscess. That doesn't sound so good.
No, the one I think they're all very pretty, and I like the sharp edges on these. I know you're not a big fan.
I am
I
not.
like the look. No, the one I really liked was the latest one they unlocked. It is summery. They're yellow. It's like, crazy citrus or something. I don't know. The newest one. So they're down a little farther. They look real good, sharp. There's those right
Spring
there.
Bloom?
Spring Bloom. I like the way those numbers just really pop. Those dice look like a freshly peeled lemon with numbers on them. They look great. I love the look. But
These
they are
not expensive.
$60.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
I know.
exactly my thought through this. I went through it. I was like, oh, these are sharp, both figuratively and literally. And I saw this color. I was like, wow, those are really nice. Those are kind of, I might check this out. I go look at the price, $60. I was done.
No.
I'm sorry. It's a set of dice.
Right.
Yes, but enough. Obviously, high quality dice is a thing because it's made 200,000.
That is insane, man. That's how much is each of those dice then? $10?
It's almost $10 a die.
Wow.
That's real.
I don't see it, but
And at the rate I lose dice, they're like, oh, I lost a 20-sider. Whatever, just cost $10.
Yeah. Oh, is that all?
Yeah. But they look good. They're beautiful colors.
They're okay. They don't do a lot for me.
All right, next we have Weapons and Warriors. I'm sorry, Catapult Kingdoms, which is definitely not Weapons and Warriors redone.
You mean
Okay, now you're saying Weapons and Warriors. I saw this and I thought this is Crossbows and Catapult.
Well, crossbows and catapults use discs. Weapons and Warriors used balls. That's why I'm comparing it to that one. And that's the problem. Crossbows and catapults were slightly better because the discs, you shoot a disc, oh, you miss, you just pick up the disc. You shoot that ball, it bounces all over the room.
Oh man, this is everything I hate in games.
Oh, see, I don't hate this idea. I like the artwork. I like the catapults. I don't like the walls. The walls look like they were 3D printed. For lack of a better word, they just look very generic.
Right.
But this is literally Weapons and Warriors.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what's the difference. But I also do see a golden marketing opportunity by putting that quote on the box. This is everything I hate about games. Z Garcia.
Well, I don't hate this idea. I would play this game, but I know the problem already. These rubber boulders are going to bounce all over the room every single time you shoot it, and then you will spend a couple minutes hunting it down.
Yeah, I'd rather stick with coconuts. I think this looks similar, but I like coconuts. I think there's a game there. It's not revolutionary, but it looks more fun than this.
This is very derivative, yeah.
The monkeys.
However, you can't get Weapons and Warriors, so there's that. So probably people can get this and play this. And you know what? Obviously, a lot of people like the idea of this, and I think it would be a fun thing to do with kids, for sure.
Right.
I loved crossbows and catapults as a kid.
It's making a serious amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we have Whale Riders, which is not making a ton of money, even though it has a lot of things going from it. Reiner Knizia designer, Vincent Dutrait artwork, and then Holy Grail Games. Grail Games. I keep getting these guys mixed up.
Here's the thing, though.
It is inexpensive. That's part of why it's not making a lot of money. It's because you can get it for about $19, right?
That's exactly what I was going to say. If you look at the number of backers, it's doing okay, but it's a pretty cheap price point.
Yeah, very pretty.
I mean, it's you don't have to say much that hasn't already been said about Vincent Dutrait artwork. It's gorgeous. I like this kind of team of Dutrait and Knizia and Grail Games. They've done really well so far with. I want to say this is maybe the 4th or 5th collaboration of the 3 of them.
No, it's more than that. I read it somewhere.
Oh, okay.
6.
They did. Okay.
6.
Wow.
It says right there, right near the top.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know they did Medici and the Medici.
But that's it. 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm certainly interested in this. I'm a big fan of Knizia Games, and I love the artwork. And Grail tends to do a good job. So I'm definitely. I'm actually backing this, so.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Are you getting the card game as well, Mike?
I am, because what was that, an extra $10 or something like that?
That is correct.
And it was a Kickstarter exclusive from what I understand, so why not?
Yeah,
I will say this.
It's a reprint, but the Whale Rider main game there is a new design.
Right.
Whenever a game is a part of another game, and that second game is a Kickstarter exclusive, that always screams not good enough to be by itself.
And I understand that. I'm not anticipating that being the be all end all.
I mean, technically in this case, it is a known game. It's been published before.
What's the re-implementation? I don't remember what it was.
A game called Trendy.
Trendy, right.
Really? Oh, okay. All right.
A long time ago, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really pretty game. All right. Then we have Perseverance Castaway Chronicles, which is such a big game that it's a box inside a box. This one's $500,000. Mm-hmm. It's from Mind Clash Games. Each of their games at this point is an event. They came on the scene with Tricarion, and probably their biggest success has been Anachrony.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Their games are never small, and this is no exception. This is Jurassic Park, but you are doing a gazillion different things as far as I don't know exactly how the game works, even after watching the trailer. There's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
I've seen bits and pieces of different playthroughs that have been done on, with prototype copies and on, I think, on maybe Tabletopia. And I'm definitely, first of all, I have tended to like Mind Clash games. I'm very much intrigued by this theme. I'm intrigued by the idea of 2 standalone games that share similar mechanics, but you can put them together to create a larger arc. I know Z is shaking his head. I don't care. We can agree to disagree on that. I really
but what if one of them's bad, Mike? Then you're paying for only one game you like.
Huh?
My guess, Tom, is that you're not going to like one and dislike the other. You're either going to like both or you're going to dislike both.
You don't know that. You just made that
I
up.
don't. Well, no, I don't know that, but the many of the mechanics are similar. I mean, it's really going to be dice placement as kind of the central mechanic, and also there is I don't know what the terminology would be, but there's kind of a common DNA of Mind Clash games that, some people really like it. For me, if I'm going to go with a heavy game, I tend to like Mind Clash games, whereas other people maybe go towards Lacerda games. I would prefer to play a Mind Clash game over maybe a Lacerda game. So that's just a preference.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm excited about this one to some degree. I like most of it. I like most of the art. I don't like the character art that much. I don't know what it is. There's just something that's personal. I like the components. There's just a gazillion things, and Mind Clash tends to make their games overwrought. I hope that's not the case here, and I do like Anachrony a lot, but I dislike some of the other games because there's just so much in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the production quality, looks amazing. I like that about them. I've never played any of the other games, so anything I say here, take with a grain of salt. I'm just messing around.
Sure.
The one thing I did see later on down the explanation, some animation of the way things move on the board. And when I saw that, I thought of something I've kind of seen in games of Anachrony being played, and that is that these guys know how to build a beautiful world and then take away everything that isn't mechanical in it. Like, their games feel mechanical, even though they came up with this gorgeous, immersive, seemingly should be fluid kind of world. And then it doesn't play that way. So, like, I think the dinosaur animation, where like they show you, like, you do this, then you do that, then they move this many hexes, then you do this. It all just looks real dry. It looks very mechanical, and this world begs for something that isn't that.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at in my
head.
The
good news is that people can play these games. They're all on Tabletopia. Is it the same designer for each one, Mike?
Yeah, I believe it's the core designers of Tricarion and Anachrony that did this as well. And I believe that first episode where maybe you were talking about the mechanical feel, I think that's almost supposed to have like almost a tower defense vibe, where these dinosaurs are coming ever closer to you and you have to deal with them. So
it kind of looks that way, yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, this one is going to be popular regardless. Their last one did not get too high of critical praise. But
what was their last game? It was not Anachrony?
Cerebria.
That one that was like Inside Out.
Yeah. Well, you can always tell from their font choices. They have a real unique look. They have a specific, graphic design.
Absolutely.
Mike, I think maybe the reason you like these better is because they have a stronger, more interesting theme than the Lacerda games do.
It very well could be, yeah.
Watch
that's
your
probably
mouth.
True. That's
Thanks,
Lacerda.
Bergs R Us. We appreciate your support. All right. Tokyo Series expansions. So Tokyo Series, I believe, was kickstarted 2 years ago, and there was a series of 3 games, and 2 of those 3 games had 50 games each. There's a lot of games in all of them.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of surprised to see expansions for that, because I was going to guess that no one had played all the games in the little ones yet.
Okay, if you don't mind, I'm gonna cut you off just really quickly here.
Get 'em.
So there have been 2 series, right? 2 3-game series that Jordan Draper has done. And this is an expansion for the kind of the big singular game in both of those series. So you're right.
It. Okay.
So 2 of the 3 are almost, to me, in my mind, almost more art projects than they are games. And then there's one that's like a fully fledged, sit down and play a gamer's game type thing. And it's so Tokyo Metro and Tokyo Tsukiji Market were the big games in each series. These are expansions to both of those games.
Okay. I'll tell you what, though. I think I'm going to back for this currency.
The currency is awesome.
That is amazing. And I'm wondering if there's a limit on the number of sets of it I can order.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I've got the metal currency from both of the previous campaigns. I actually have gotten into the other. Yeah, I've got both of the sets of 3. So, yeah, I like Tokyo Metro quite a bit. I still haven't played Tsukiji Market yet. I might try to sneak it on you guys one of these days.
Yeah, maybe, because I played one of their games of the second trilogy, I guess, and I hated it. And then I was like, and then I never got around to playing the other ones.
Sure.
But this Metro one looks really good. I like the colorful mat.
Well, that colorful money, I know you like too. That's basically why you like it, right?
You know, it is. Well, I've been wanting some money that doesn't look like other money, and money you can use for futuristic games. It's not like old Roman coins. And this, I don't know if you remember, Minion Games made that really cool currency. For futuristic currency for one of their games. So yeah, I don't know. Someone says it's plastic. Maybe it's plastic.
Oh, it should be. They've always been metal.
Okay, then whatever. Okay, all right. Studio X Mobile Miniature Painting Studio. Normally I wouldn't put these things on, but painting is on my mind these days.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yesterday I started my second daughter off on painting.
I love how it's on your mind, so you make your kids do it.
No, I'm here to help them in any way. I pay them, so whatever.
So you pay, they paint. Got it.
Yeah, well, you should see the Marvel United stuff. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good.
No, this looks neat, because that's one of the things about painting is this stuff's all over the place.
Sure.
So being able to store the brushes and the paint now, even like the miniatures you're currently working on, it's not a bad idea.
That's the idea. This is meant for you to pack this up. It has a built-in light. It's got brushes, your paints, your palettes, and the minis you're working on. Right. You can enclose it all and grab the handle and go with it. That's cool. I don't know how much like painting on the go people do, but I know like some of the people I know who have painted like around me, sometimes they would paint anywhere, right? Like they would just sort of like pull out miniatures.
Vern would do it, and this would work for Holly because she would paint at home and then come here and paint. The only problem I have with stuff like this is I saw this and I was like, oh yeah, I'll get this, but it's a Kickstarter.
Right.
So it's estimated in March 2021. I was like, oh, well, I want it now. I know that's not the purpose of Kickstarter, but if you're looking for an accessory that you can use now, and I see this on Kickstarter, or I could go find something that's on the market already.
Yeah, see, I was wondering if that was the case, if there are already things like this, because I'm not a minis painter. I've said that a number of times, but this almost makes me want to be. There's something about the organizational, there's just something about this that is appealing to me, even though I don't paint, so I don't know if there's others like it.
Make a trip to like the Container Store and you'll get you're good.
Oh, don't do it, Mike. It's so dangerous.
I have been there. Yeah.
That's what it is, Mike. Seeing this just gets that part of you going.
I guess.
All right. The next game is Mantis Falls, which is the first game from this company called Distant Rabbit. And I'm trying to figure out, there must be something else behind this. The fact that it's made 116,000, has 4,000 backers.
Right.
I mean, the game looks cool. It really does. It's very evocative. But I can't figure out why it's so popular.
But evocative of what? I'm a little bit confused on what it's doing. I mean, is it a deduction game?
I think it's a cooperative game with the possibility of there being a traitor.
Okay.
Because they kept saying it's cooperative. Probably.
Right.
Well, I think that just means that someone could be a traitor. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, sure.
I agree with you, Tom. If you showed me this project without telling me how much money it's made and told me to guess near the end of its run, I would say $40,000. That's good, right? Like that's kind of the vibe I'm seeing here. Mm-hmm. This has made over 100,000, right? I mean, it's quite a bit, and I don't know. It's their first project, like you said. They have they have 41 back things, but first design, as far as we can tell. They're a small tabletop game company in Athens, Georgia. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people just know this person who's behind this. Did they do really good marketing? Are people just really jonesing for this kind of game?
Yeah.
I don't know. Baffles me as well.
I want to play this though. This has it has a creepy vibe to it, but not so dark. Like, remember I said Sorcerer at the beginning? I didn't like the artwork because it's so dark and everything. This is probably just as dark, but I don't have to look at gross stuff.
Well, that's your loss, bro.
And also, it's a 2 to 3 player hidden trader game. That's really rare. Like, really rare.
Yeah. I mean, it's intriguing. I can't quite get a grasp on it.
I'm pretty interested in this one. This is what I'm really wanting to play, I think. If it can give you tension between the 2 to 3 players, then I don't know that there's any other game that does that. Like that hidden trader thing. That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Here we go.
This is
Tom all the way.
ARMPAL. Wooden assembly tabletop game. Unlimited plays, as opposed to other board games in which there are limited plays.
Right.
When I was a kid, we had at Radio Shack, they sold this gray device with that robotic arm that could pick up balls and cups and things, and I thought it was super cool, and my parents said it was too expensive, and they told me I would only play with it a few times and get bored with it. Now that I'm an adult and I see this same thing here made out of wood, I think this looks fun, something that you would play with 2 or 3 times, and then you would get bored with it.
Yes.
But it has unlimited plays, Tom. What are you talking about?
It looks like it's a cool thing to do. I'm just not convinced it's going to be a game that people are going to want to play. Also, if I'm reading the numbers right on the side, and I might be reading them wrong, it seems like you have to back enough to get 2 kits for it to even be a game.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this looks like a toy that they have shoehorned games onto. How is this any different than like an Erector set or a Lego Robotics? I mean, just other than it's different material. I mean, we've seen these types of toys for years and years and years. It's just interesting that they're marketing it as a game when, to me, it's clearly a toy.
I agree. It's a cool toy. I love all this robotic stuff, but this is a toy, right? I mean, it's neat. It's one of those like.
Picture of these people dancing is not fake at all.
No, it's real.
That's when they just figured out that there's unlimited. They thought that there was a limit to the number of plays, and then they suddenly realized, they
thought they were done. And they're like, no, you can play this as much as you want.
That was that moment of realization.
Oh my god!
You know what? I got half of I could get this right, kids, to put this together and mess around with it, right?
Yeah, right.
$100 is not cheap though, and where is I think again, the battle version is $140.
Yeah,
and
that's the early bird.
How do you store it when you're done?
Right.
So I think it's one of those things that you buy because it's exciting looking. You're like, oh, it looks really cool. And then afterward, you're like, oh, now what do we do with it?
Well, you don't have to worry about storing it when you're done because you'll never be done. It has unlimited plays, Tom. I'm not sure if you're aware.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
That's right.
All right, let's jump to a game that looks quite interesting. Daimyo, Rebirth of the Empire, a unique dice drafting and hand management game. Mm-hmm. This one, if anyone thinks that because of the economy, Kickstarter's not doing well, if you notice, there's project after project that's made over 100,000.
Yeah. I'll tell you what got me most interested beyond the theme and the art is the publisher here, La Boîte Jeu, if I'm probably severely mispronouncing that, but I really, really, really liked Outlive. I liked Netatanka. And so I'm definitely intrigued just based off of that track record. The one concern I have, and you may bring it up, is that the board looks really busy to me. But I do like the art. I like the theme. So I don't know.
It's like Graffiti Samurai.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's futuristic.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right about their production. I remember when Zemi and Sam played Outlive, and then I told them that it was the non-deluxe version.
Right.
Yeah, the minis in this look cool. The whole thing looks neat. My concern, because I dug into it pretty deeply, because it looks so different. It's got a cool vibe.
Yeah.
My main worry would be that this is a first-time designer. So who knows? You could always get somebody who just completely knocks it out of the park the first time, of course.
Right.
That's a little bit of a concern for me. And then also, I wonder if this is the kind of game where all these miniatures and everything is going to feel natural, or just sort of like Kickstarter natural. And by that I mean we did it because we could, because people will back it.
Sure, but I think you can get a version without all those.
Right, you could get just the meeples, because they did the same thing without.
Yeah, but I want the cool stuff. But
you can't have it both ways. You can't.
I'm just wondering if you're going to play with those minis, and then once you've done playing, you'll think this doesn't really feel like a miniatures game. That's what I'm saying.
I'm betting it's not a miniatures game at all, just like Outlive wasn't. They also did It's a Wonderful World, too, so I do tend to like their games.
They are one of the companies, though, where I would seriously consider backing the non-deluxe version.
Right,
because it's really good anyway. And, It's a Wonderful World came with so much extra stuff that you really don't need to enjoy the game. And the Outlive, the extra big pieces didn't look as good. There was some functionality problems with them. Right. To where some people liked it better without them. And I don't know. But still, I'm very interested in this.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, it looks good.
All righty. Next, we have Towers and Turrets, a tabletop card game. Now, this is a instance of me just being... I don't know. I just picked a small one. I don't know how to put small little Kickstarters in like this.
It's not funding yet, correct?
It is not, but I don't know. The idea of these different towers and putting them together, this just felt like that publisher that you find in the corner of a convention, and you're like, yeah, I'll take a look at this.
Yes.
I don't know how to explain it. That's how I felt about this project.
This is very small. This is, I think, from a couple, or I think actually in the video she says they're a trio of designers, new designers, I can assume. And they came up with an idea for this card game, very simple, kind of take that-ish card game. And they're worked on that all the way up to here. So that's cool. Again, if you love Kickstarter because you love the feeling, the idea of supporting small designers, new designers, people who are breaking into a new hobby, you want to see their vision come to fruition, just like the bigger publishers get to do. This is one of those. I can tell that these people are passionate about this game. They're into it. They've worked on it.
Right.
Is it for me? I don't think so, but that's irrelevant. I think there's an audience for this. I'm surprised. It's not. What's the funding goal on this, Tom? Can you go back up a little bit?
I think it was 10,000.
They may reach it. They got 8 days to go.
Yeah.
Alrighty, then we jump to Steven Universe, Beach-a-Palooza card battle game. This is from Cryptozoic. I'm actually not sure how Cryptozoic picks which of their projects to kickstart or not, because they do a lot of IP projects. They decided to kickstart this one. I would imagine you have to like the Steven Universe cartoon, which I do. I'm not a huge fan, but I thought it was fine to get everything that's going on in this.
This is a little surprising to me in the fact that it's not funding more than it is, because it's a well-known popular IP. The look, now I'm not saying anything about the quality of the gameplay, but the just the look of how it plays, the look of this campaign looks so similar to other games that get $400,000-$500,000. I don't see what the difference is. Why is this one not funding, and something else that oftentimes doesn't even have an IP that looks to play very similar to this card battling game, right? what's the difference? Why is this one not getting?
Maybe
the
a lot of
traction
people
that
who
the
like
other ones
Steven
did?
Universe don't use Kickstarter yet, or are too young.
It could be. Maybe it's maybe it's the distribution model. I don't know. I'm just really surprised.
That could be.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. This one still may fund.
Sure.
There's still 8 days left. So, alrighty, folks, that is only half of what we're looking at today. So we'll be back with some more projects, but let's take a break and listen to our contributors.
Hey folks, and welcome to FOMO, the segment where I take a look at a game that's currently seeking crowdfunding. Maybe I have a fear of missing out on it, maybe you do too, and we'll take a look together. Now this week is actually going to be a game that hasn't launched yet, and it's going to be an expansion. So I'm going to call this one FOMO First Look. I'm calling it that because one, the game hasn't launched yet. It's actually launching next week. And second, as far as I know, this is the first look at this particular expansion. Now this is for a game that released a few years ago that I really enjoy, and this is its final expansion. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Cows expansion for Petrichor that will be launching on July 28th. The final expansion for Petrichor, Cows, adds a new graze action, a climate mechanism, and some climate-sensitive crops to the mix. The new Cows also add their byproducts to the world of Petrichor in the form of manure and methane gas, affecting the world's climate. Methane affects and lives in the clouds, but doesn't belong to any player. It does count towards the cloud size though when determining if a cloud becomes a thundercloud or if it overflows. Players cannot willingly rain out methane from a cloud, and whenever a cloud containing methane does rain out, a new cloud instantly forms on the tile containing one methane. Also important is that a cloud containing only methane does not count as a tile with a cloud on it for any other game effects, nor do players count the methane when counting raindrops in a cloud. Methane acts as a currency in the game that players can receive and spend as well. Players can collect methane as part of the new graze action we'll discuss in a moment. Players can spend methane to increase the power of the rain action, or spend 2 of them to take the place of any required card when taking an action. The new graze action has 2 options when using it. First is Time Heals, which allows a player to take all of the methane from a cloud they currently control and add it to their personal supply. They then move a cow to the same location as the cloud. The other option is Nature's Call, which lets the player select a cow on a field and place methane in a cloud in that space or an adjacent space, creating a new cloud if needed. Then, the player places a fertilizer token on the cow's location and moves the cow to an adjacent location that doesn't contain a cow. If a player uses the graze action, they must vote for Harvest this turn, unless all of the dice already show Harvest. The new climate phase in the game happens between the action and weather phases. Based on the number of methane currently in the clouds, the climate marker will adjust on the track. More methane means hotter temperatures, while less means cooler temperatures. The player with the most methane in their personal supply will be the climate leader for the round, and they will resolve the effects based on the current climate. There is also 2 new bonuses during the harvest for cows and fertilizer. Cows will award bonus points to players on the corn, wheat, and grass tiles, and fertilizer will award bonus points on growing tiles. The final thing in cows are the new climate-sensitive crops: Norway spruce, sweet chestnut, date palm, and baobab. These trees require a certain climate. Should they be growing and the climate changes to one they cannot tolerate, that plant will die off and have to be grown all over again. So that is an overview of Petrichor Cows. Now I went into a little more detail than I normally do because, as I said at the top of this video, well, this is a first look. No one else has covered this expansion yet. Now this will be launching next Wednesday, Tuesday, whatever July 28th is of next week. Now, for me, what this expansion does is exactly what I want an expansion to do. It takes a game that I already love and it builds on it, adds a little extra to it, but it doesn't change the overall feeling of the game so far that I feel like I'm playing a different game. Now, it's not often I get to say manure in a review. I tickled a little when I was writing that, and I also laughed a little when I said cows byproducts. But generally, what I'm seeing here is something that just added that little extra step. Now, that is also the case with the other previous expansions for this game, and honestly, this feels like the perfect final expansion. The cows are really cute, the methane feels thematic to whole climate change, and what I really dug were these plants. The new trees in the game that react to the climate, so if it gets too hot or it gets too cold, this tree may not grow, and if it started growing, it might die off. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that the grays offered me two different things to do. I enjoyed the pastures, I enjoyed the fertilizer. There was just these little extra things that didn't feel like, oh no, I have to relearn everything. But if I sat down with folks who'd already played Petrichor, I could be like, these are the new mechanisms, and we could just go. The rules also do tell you how to integrate it with the bees expansion and the flowers expansion. That's nice. It also tells you how to use it with the solo rules as well. So if you solo players out there, I believe cows is actually something you're really gonna want. Overall, I was really happy with this expansion. It did everything I wanted in a final expansion for Petrichor. So if this one interests you, if you liked what you saw, if Petrichor is already a game you love, this is probably already a no-brainer for you. Go ahead, check out their Kickstarter when it launches next week on July 28th. And I look forward to seeing you folks next episode, where we're going to take a look at Lizard Wizard.
Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview recap. I'm Mark, and today we're going to be diving into the darkest dungeon. And we're going to be visiting Steven and his universe, as well as taking on the role of Olympian gods battling for supremacy. So first, let's take a look at Kleos. Equally feared and worshipped by mortals, monsters, and spirits alike, the Olympian gods sit upon Mount Olympus and watch the world go by. That is, until word of the founding of a new city reaches their ears, Kleos, a city said to rival and eventually surpass even Troy and Athens. Zeus has declared a week-long contest among the gods to decide who shall be the patron god of this new city. So call forth your champions, ready your armies, and use every divine power you possess to win at all costs. And remember, the gods do not play fair. The object of the game is to collect as much glory as possible during the contest. The contest lasts 5 days, represented as rounds of play. At the end of the last round, the player with the most glory wins, earning glory through victory in combat, by holding key parts of the city, and by recruiting each hero and monster to your cause. Alright, so if you know anything about me at all, you know that I love dice and games, and this game has it in spades. That's not what this game is all about, but you do have that element of chucking tons of dice in these battles with these Olympian gods, and you're adding your minions and so forth, and augmenting their dice that they can throw. But you also have area control, you're battling it out for grids, you're getting champions and all that with your Olympian gods, trying to find the favor of Zeus. And I do love throwing like 12 or 13 dice at a time. And next, we have the Night Cage. Welcome to the Night Cage. You awake to discover that you and several others are imprisoned within a pitch-black labyrinth. The rough-hewn stone passage provides barely enough room to crawl through, and the walls claw at your skin as you pass. Equipped with nothing but dim candles, you must work together to explore the maze and escape. Distressingly, the weak candlelight only illuminates your immediate surroundings. Worse still, you're beginning to suspect something else is moving in the suffocating darkness, just beyond the flickers of your candle. And it despises the light. The Night Cage is a cooperative tile placement game that traps 1 to 4 lost souls within an otherworldly labyrinth of eternal darkness. Each prisoner has nothing but a candle to aid them in their escape. But its weak light can only illuminate the passages directly adjacent to them. As players move, new pathways are revealed while old ones disappear, consumed in the darkness forever. Every move will require thoughtful consideration and collective strategy to keep your candles burning long enough to find the way out. To win, each prisoner must first collect a key. With that accomplished, The group must find and make their way to a single gate. Only when assembled there, together, can the gate be unlocked by turning the keys in unison, escaping the night cage. I love the tension that this game provides. Oh man, it's so good. And the collaborative nature, you really do have to work together. And if you go lights out because a monster hits you, oh man, things get dire really fast. So you have to work together to relight people's candles, and you hope that you didn't chain monsters off of each other and have a catastrophic failure where everybody's lights go out, so to say. But yeah, I mean, this game just really ramps up the tension as that candle drops as you're pulling tiles. So fun. And then finally, we have Steven Universe. So it's Beach-a-Palooza time in Beach City. No one enjoys entertaining people more than Steven Universe, so he has once again summoned more Stevens from his former band, Steven and the Stevens. But this time they're going to do it right, and each Steven will have his own band to recruit his friends to join. Now the Stevens can compete to see who can put on the best show. Of course, all the excitement of Beach-a-Palooza has also drawn the attention of party crashers in the form of unruly corrupt and homeworld gyms. So in addition to competing against one another, the Stevens and their friends must all work to keep these party crashers at bay and make sure Beach-a-Palooza rocks. So the object here is to be the Steven that recruits the best band and audience at Beach-a-Palooza, defending against the party crashers that are looking to ruin everything and gain the most victory points to win the game. So the thing that strikes me about Steven Universe the most really is the fact that the designers are such huge fans of the show, and it really comes through in the game. If you love the show, this game is going to be something you must own. And if you don't know anything about the show, then there's still a fun battle element to this game and worth checking out. But for those who are fans, you're going to love all the little things they put in, all the different characters, and even like going through the different acts. You're going to see that they basically have those acts represent the different seasons of the show. So I thought that was really cool, how the designers really put their all into this title. And so my pick of the week, and for me, hands down this time, it's all about the Night Cage. Oh man, I love this game. It is so fun. And I love like I said before, the tension that it provides. It's so good. And you really get that sense of this desperation to get out. And you really do have to work together. Not like a lot of other cooperative games where there's a potential for like an alpha player. This one, really, you have to work together or you're gonna fail. And I've probably, out of the 8 times or so that I've played, I've got about a 50-50 win ratio, so there's enough there to keep you coming back for more. And there's some new monsters and such coming as well. They're gonna enhance or ramp the difficulty up in the game. So keep an eye on this campaign. Definitely an awesome game that might be one of my favorites that I've played for previews. And I can't wait, I backed it. I can't wait to get this one. All right, so there's one other title I'm gonna mention. It's called Safari Turbo. This is a published game, which is a preview coming soon. It is a classic roll and move to some degree, but it does have some twists to it, so check it out. All right, if you want any more information about any of the other games that I mentioned here, please go check out our full previews. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table.
And we're back. We're going to start by taking a look at a puzzly solo adventure game called Relics of Rajavihara.
Oh, look at that. Smooth.
A smooth criminal.
Uh-huh.
So this is a solo game. It actually, I'm going to argue that it doesn't look as much of a game as it does a puzzle, although you could argue that most solo games are simply puzzles.
Sure.
Yeah. That's what this is, right? I mean, isn't this kind of like one of those games you'd find at bookstores and stuff?
Like the games from Think Fun.
Yeah, like the logic puzzles and things like that. Yeah.
Although there's a lot of stuff in this one, more so. Also, I love the name of the guy who made it, Joe Slack.
Joe Slack.
It's
not to be confused with Joe Exotic.
Looks interesting enough. I'm not a solo person, so I'm going to pass this off to Mike. Mike, is it good?
Haven't played it. I mean, it looks interesting. I don't know that it's one that I'm like chomping at the bit to play, but I would certainly check it out. I think that I like that they put that kind of Tomb Raider or Indiana Jones type theme. I think it fits with this type of a puzzle. You know, it looks all right.
What kind of filth is in this game that they felt the need to censor the unlocked content? If you go back up, Tom, and you'll see that they have the stretch goals. Look at that! Look at that!
Oh,
look at that! They censored those cards.
That's true. Right. They just were like scribble.
I'm now more interested in the game, so I'm going to back this right now.
Relics of Rajavihara After Dark.
After dark. All right.
Alrighty. Now, speaking of unusual themes, we have RagnaRok Star. So, if you ever wanted to be a Viking rock band, this is
who
it.
hasn't, really? Who hasn't?
True.
Yes. I've been begging for this game for years.
I can't believe it hasn't been made yet. That's the most impressive part.
And I don't know that they got Red Zeppelin and Green Dead. That's a little bleh. The artwork and stuff, it looks very much like an app.
Yeah, kind of has that vibe.
Right.
I don't know on this one. I hope it's good. It looks like a light Euro style game.
Sure.
The art is fine, although it's taking, hey, do you like metal? Do you like rock band?
Right.
This is what you should be getting into.
Yeah. I mean, the impression I get is that they very much are not taking themselves terribly seriously. I do think that they're, leaning into the silliness, and I appreciate that, because this could have really been stupid if they had tried to make it serious. You know what I mean?
Well, I
think
still be stupid. I don't know, but yes.
Sure, but a different kind of stupid. I'll put it to you that way. I don't know.
My rock band, a different kind of stupid.
Right, there you go. I don't know that I'm necessarily intrigued by the gameplay, but I do think the aesthetic is nice. I like the dual layered boards. Every time I see a publisher do that, I'm gonna give a thumbs up, because I think we should just make that standard now for pieces that move.
I agree. I really like that this illustration here where they show that it getting icier and so the sea fills up. That's a cool gimmick.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, and that's a good way, I think, to segue into how this game feels. Feels like a cool gimmick.
Yeah.
It feels like, the title, I can guarantee you they came up with that title with this game. You know what I mean? Somebody was like, RagnaRok Star, and they went from there. It feels gimmicky. It looks really well finalized gimmicky. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So if you're digging the
I
vibe.
have a picture here of these guys with the games behind them. They got really good games behind them, so I have high hopes.
Yeah.
Is this a French company, I believe?
Yeah, I think so. And there's something about that artwork too. The feel of the game, the silliness, like you guys said.
You're right.
I tend to like French designs. There's just the sensibilities of French houses, design houses. So.
All right, then we have Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria, which is another Valeria game. And I noticed this is like the 8th Kickstarter we've gone over where they told us when it funded, as if I care. The last one, I think, said funded in 4 hours and whatever. Anyhow, so the Valeria games are really easy to mix up because they all have the word Valeria, but they're making the word Valeria smaller now.
Right.
So like the last one, me and Mike, when we talk about it, we say Margraves.
Right.
That's the name of it. So I'm assuming this one's Shadow Kingdoms. I'm trying to figure out if this is related to kingdoms.
Well, because you have Valeria card kingdoms. So, they're all in that same world.
Different, though.
It's not related to that game in any way. It's a different designer, as a matter of fact. This is a different designer than the main core Valeria games, because Isaias Vallejo did Card Kingdoms, and he did Quest of Valeria, and he did Villages of Valeria, and he did Margraves. This is a different designer, and that little Viking ship one was a different designer as well. So I think what they're doing is they're maybe taking submissions from other designers and putting them into this universe. It's just
Mike
a guess.
It's a Valeria, right?
I do like the Valeria games quite a bit, yes. And this one looks interesting to me as well.
He's got the Valeria fever.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, these games have been all over the place. Some I love,
Sure.
some I don't. So this one has dice that are troops. I'm kind of on board with that.
Dice look good. Those dice do look good.
Yep. And I do love the Miko's art. That's always going to be, and I know that not everyone does, but I do like his art.
Sure. My one problem is this with these games is these cards here. If you drop one of these cards on the floor and you said, what game does that go to? I'd be
That's a very good point.
It looks like it could go in any of them.
It does, because the iconography
the name of the game
is
is
the same.
probably on the other side. But
yeah, that's true. But you are right there. You are right.
Alrighty, a big pirate game. This is the
How long did this fund in? How long did it take to fund?
That's right.
15 minutes, baby. Alrighty. This one has made $500,000. It's from AEG. So AEG makes a lot of games a year, but they usually only kickstart a couple of them. They kickstarted Thunderstone. They kickstarted some other ones. This one is from John DeClaire, who's probably best known for Mystic Vale. And indeed, this game uses that card crafting system. Right. It's a pirate game where you're traveling around on this board. It has a dice, a cube tower. And in fact, it almost feels like the designer watched a video of things that I like in games. And was like, Tom likes pirates. Tom likes cube towers. Tom likes that card crafting system. Let's do it. And I'm sitting here going, I'm trying to find something about this game I don't like. And then I keep looking at it going, I really want this game. Because it looks really cool. It's a pirate-themed game, which I do like. I like that system where the cubes come out and where they land on the board. That's I've only ever seen that once done before in that Game Salute game that from the Fragger Brothers initially did it.
Yeah.
With the what was that called?
The wave. With the
Poseidon's
Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Had that same thing where they dropped the stuff out and where it landed. Right. That's a cool idea.
Sure.
And then the fact that you can also craft the cards, make your pirate ship better. The main thing for me is how long does the game take? If it takes a year and a half, I'm not going to be as interested. Sure. But other than that, everything. And look at this Ghost Ship alternate cube tower.
That's pretty nice, yeah.
Are there any legacy aspects to this game? Because it sure feels that way.
I don't think so. I think it just adds, like, you can play through a storyline. I think it's more campaign.
Okay.
Than
So
it's
a campaign
legacy
kind of game. That makes sense. It feels like it's bigger than just a one-off every time you play.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and this also feels like a game that we've been talking about for a few months now. Like, this game has been building buzz for a while before it even came out on Kickstarter. And so, look, it almost looks like they've got kind of a dream team together, right? John DeClaire is kind of like the it designer for AEG. He's been putting out game after game after game that have been popular. It looks like they've gotten people that are specifically working on the rule book. Obviously, the art looks terrific. The components look terrific.
Good cover.
And it does seem like really they're putting everything they've got behind this release. So they must believe in it.
Right. I agree with everything both of you guys are saying. I think it looks great.
Yeah, I'm pumped about it a lot. Alrighty. I'm also pumped about Mystic Monkeys. This game.
You are, huh?
With a name like Mystic Monkeys, really, how can you go wrong?
Here's the thing,
I'll tell you. Look at that board, right?
I'm not hating the box cover, actually, of this
game.
No,
I actually like that font, believe it or not. As stupid as that sounds, I like that. But the board is a little...
It's an abstract strategy game. I'm not hating on this game. Actually, I was just being silly, but I think I would play this one. It looks pretty neat.
I'm in, man. I'll be happy to watch you play this.
Oh, wait. There's a basic baboon pledge? That's me right there. I'm in.
The basic baboon.
Basic baboon.
About the wrinkly, woolly monkeys.
Well, that's always a popular
Slippery
choice as well.
Spider monkeys.
This is what the company's first thing. No back things. But it looks well finalized. That's
it
true.
does.
I think it does look a little does look a little abstract-ish, but
they're estimating delivery in
you got good
December.
graphic designers working with. I'm always happy with that.
Yeah, you look 20-minute, 2-player abstract game with some nice looking art and aesthetic. I mean, hey, there's no reason to think it wouldn't be good for this type of game.
Right.
I'm actually interested in this one. So Mystic Monkeys looks good.
Yeah.
And we have a game called Legacy, which is not a legacy game. It's a narrative puzzle in which the dad is a jerk, I'm assuming. Because when you watch the video, the dad's like, all right, kids, just so you know, our ancestors had this great treasure that I found, and now that I've passed away, I've hidden it for you to find. Give the kids your treasure, you jerk. Why are you making them hunt for it?
They got to find it themselves.
You're going to have dinner tonight, but I'm going to tell you, it's been placed strategically throughout the house.
Okay, so this looks like one of those grandiose escape rooms, and this is not the only one we're talking about today. This comes with an Eiffel Tower figure, and it looks like it's being used as a paperweight here, with maps and flyers. I like these games, but I need them to provide some sort of direction, because I backed one of these that I have at my house. It's this huge box of puzzles and stuff, and I haven't a clue what to do first.
Yeah.
Right.
And I went through it. I spent several hours looking at all of it. It was kind of cool. I guess I'm glad I backed it for that reason. But then I was like, I started one puzzle. I couldn't figure it out. And I was like, well, I guess I'm done for now. And then I haven't had the desire to go back because it's so much work.
Yeah, much like rule books for legacy games sometimes come across as pedantic and sort of hand-holding. That's necessary, or you will feel lost. So yes, you're right. I agree with you. These games have to tell you, start here, read me first. Right. Don't open that. You know, all that stuff's got to be in place.
Well, there are some people, though, who love that whole find the puzzle. You have to find the puzzle before you can solve it.
Yeah.
All right. Then we have Surrealist Dinner Party. Now, this one, I really like how it looks a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
This is my what's it called? This is my Mystic Monkeys, Tom. Like how you were all like, yeah, Mystic Monkeys, I'm digging it. I'm digging this, man. I'm loving the look. I like the theme. I love the card artwork. Yeah. I think I like anyway the gameplay happening here. My only concern, my only beef with this game is that these cards, if you look at any one spot that they're showing cards here, they've got special abilities across the bottom, and that is some tiny writing. Good night. Those are like little, there's abilities on the cards, but they're so small.
Oh, wow, you're right.
I see it now.
Those icons are so clear, but you're right. That ability is really tiny. I wonder why.
Got to fix that. If they fix that, if they make these cards legible, where I can just, I don't have to pick it up off the board to see what they do, I'm in. This looks really bizarre. It looks bizarre.
Yeah.
I will say, if you look at the other games that these folks have made here, their stuff always has this cool look to it. They did Mechanica, which was not a game that I thought Mechanica was not fully fleshed out, but it was a cool idea and looks great. And Visitor, there's a lot of people who really like that one. And then Monarch, again, I didn't think Monarch was a great game, but it looked good.
Yeah. And this one looks less ambitious than those from a design point of view, and I think that's going to work in their benefit.
I really love the artwork for this one.
Yeah, me too.
A lot.
It's cool. Yeah. So, and let's not overlook the metal tray that you get with it as well.
Thank you, Mike.
Metal tray anyway, so.
But only limited play.
That's right.
All right, now we go into darkness in The Night Cage, a cooperative horror-themed tile placement game from Smirk and Daggers. This is only Smirk and Daggers' second game on Kickstarter, although they published probably 30 other games.
Right.
It's a fully co-op game, which has a weird mechanism. They were like touting it like, if you move, your candle only lets you see the things around you. But then it showed them moving back, and the paths had changed. That's not how candles work.
These candles do.
Yeah.
Like if I get that you might forget what the tunnels behind you look like, but when you go back, they're going to be a different tunnel.
Yeah, I think the only way that this would work thematically is if you are in some type of mystical, metaphysical place where literally the world is changing around you. Then that could work mechanically.
Maybe you are.
Yeah.
This is almost too abstract looking for me.
Mm.
Like when I look at the full board, let me see if I find a picture of it, and all the tiles, it almost looks too boring.
Yeah.
It's it looks like an abstract for sure.
It does, sure.
It looks really spooky, and like it makes me think of that game we looked at earlier with all the weird sort of creepy vibe going on, and this one is really screaming that creepy vibe. In fact, it was kind of funny. One of the preview videos in this Kickstarter campaign, I happened to click on it to listen to a bit of it, and at the beginning they say, "The Night Cage from Smirk and Laughter," and I'm like, oof. Really? I'm assuming they're not putting it under Smirk and Laughter. They're doing Smirk and Dagger, because there's nothing funny about this. Mm-mm. This looks spooky.
Right.
It looks freaky. It looks devoid of life and fun a little bit, you know?
Well, I hope the game is fun. I'm just saying, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Man, you're coming up with a lot of good box quotes today, Z.
Devoid of life
and fun.
All right, Trunch Club. It's a club we all want to join. A strategy board game set in the First World War for 1 to 4 players. So this is a war game that has plastic miniatures with a really, in my opinion, unsightly side attachment on which you're going to put upgrade beads. Like, that's literally what you do. Let me see if I find... There it is, a picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's very functional. I cannot argue that.
Yeah,
I don't know if I like how it looks.
Better than a count?
I'll go one step beyond that. I don't like how it looks. It's there's a lot of things about this. The one thing I do think World War I is probably, I'm going to show my ignorance here because I'm not a war gamer, but it seems like that's less represented than maybe some of the other.
You're right, Mike. There's 10 World War II to one World War I game, and that might be me understating it.
Yeah. So that I appreciate, but look, this isn't a game for me, so I'm not going to sit here and pound on it because this isn't my style of game. It's not being marketed to me, but I mean, there's some aesthetics about it that I don't think are very attractive. I don't love that bead system, but hey, who knows?
I don't hate the miniatures. The miniatures are fine.
Mm-hmm.
And the bead system works in theory. I just don't think it's pretty.
Yeah.
I agree, but this might be... For most war games are not lookers.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If this one retains the fact that it's not a looker, but the functionality goes up, that's not bad, right? I mean, it's not a step back, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they took a pretty game and made it ugly by adding the bead system.
We got Dan.
Dan
what did Dan
likes
say?
it. Dan says, he says, I think it's going to be a great success, but they missed the part where he said, "Shut up." I think it's going to be a great success. That was actually the whole quote.
I'm going to defer to Dan on this one. It's a war game. I'll defer to Dan.
Yeah.
Here's the other giant puzzle in a box, and this one looks absolutely insane.
Wow.
The Labyrinth, an immersive multi-platform puzzle challenge. That is, on one hand, I think opening it up, I would be like, this is really awesome. And then I would weep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They didn't know when to stop putting stuff in.
No.
I actually didn't look to see how much it cost. $194.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, but it has infinite plays. So
Infinite play, yeah.
No, it's actually one play. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but you'll never stop.
Oh, I see. Whoa.
Yeah,
oh, that's not even the
looks like...
deluxe edition.
No.
I'm sorry.
No. How much
Mike,
is
when's
that?
your birthday?
It just happened. I'm sorry. July 11th.
Well, I know, but this ain't coming out till October 2021. I got time.
Yeah. Well,
is this something you want, Mike? Is this something that's speaking to you?
Let's say I'll go with no. This is not the type of experience. I don't particularly honestly love these types of throw every puzzle in the world at you. It's just not my type of game experience that I like. I know that a lot of people like it. Tom, I know you like these types of games.
I do. And if this had been, someone mentioned here in the comments, if this had been delivered like at the beginning of the quarantine, and it showed up and I was in my house for a week or two, and I had a couple other people who also love this would be amazing.
Yeah.
And it looks phenomenal. It also looks, again, insane.
It looks very daunting, but I always appreciate these things because I like the handmade quality that they all seem to have. Very, artisanal kind of, is that the right word? Like they feel like someone put all the stuff together in a box for me, like specifically for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
I like that about these things. They don't feel a mass market. It's a box of weird stuff, and I'm supposed to discover it. Nobody else is doing it. Makes you feel, special, and I like that. This one looks amazing, man. For people who enjoy the stuff.
Yeah, no, It does look cool. It does look cool if you like this type of experience. I mean, this looks like top notch for that type of gameplay.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And it funded in 5 hours, Tom. So.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I will back. I got to find people to play it with, though.
It's very cheap.
All right. One more big Kickstarter here. Ascension Tactics, the deck building miniatures game. Now, I actually did an interview with these folks. This one does something which I haven't seen before. Not the miniatures. There's plenty of games of miniatures. But uses deck building and these miniatures in what looks to me like a really simple game. I'm really pumped about this. Ascension is a game that I initially was not a huge fan of when I first played it. I didn't like the art. The art has tremendously improved since then.
Sure.
It's gotten a lot better.
And it's a deck builder that I played almost more than any other deck builder, mostly because of the app. But it's just so easy, so simple. And this mixed with the miniatures game, we talk about miniature games where I'm getting tired of them being so complex.
Right.
This does not look complex. This looks pretty solid. Also, if you want, you can get every single Ascension game, I think, in this.
Right. Hello.
Would you want to be one of the chosen? Mike, how about this for your birthday present?
Now you're talking. Now this makes a little more sense. I would like
this be
to
like a birthday present? You'd be like, could you give me like the cash, please?
Right.
How many of these are sold already? Go scroll down. I want to see how many of these are
guess. Before we look, guess.
Well, I'm saying they sold one.
All right, I was going to say they sold all 4.
I'm going to say 0.
Oh, no, they're separated. Okay, so no one did Void. No one has done Enlightened. Oh, nope, 1.
Oh.
The Mechana one has been bought. Z,
Wow.
you were right. Of course, we don't know that he didn't look already.
That would be really lame. I don't need that kind of self-gratification. I haven't been that lonely, Tom.
All right. Wow. Yeah, but you do get everything in the game and become a character. How much is everything in the game, though?
Good night.
I'm going to say about $7,500.
It's only $300. So you're paying $7,200 to be in the game.
That's a lot of dough.
Hey, like you could probably hire like a fantastic artist for several $1,000s to paint you a massive portrait and just hang it in your living room.
Right.
I mean,
yes, but it would be in everyone else's living room. And when you're in a game, that's what it is.
Okay, you know what?
That enemy of yours who you've been like, he hates me, but he likes Ascension. It's in his. All right, we're getting off topic here.
Yeah. Normally, this is a game I wouldn't have any interest in, but the fact that it is built off of Ascension, which is it's a known entity to me, and it is a simple game, that does have my interest because I don't love, a lot of convoluted card-based, deck building type games, but Ascension works, so this one is something I'm interested in.
I agree. And just so you know, we're going to get this cultist plushie for the studio.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime you're mad, because that's what I do in Ascension. I punch that cultist so many times.
Yeah.
I'm all joking aside, forgetting that huge pledge. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, good.
I am really hoping this is good. I'm excited about it. So
it has a solo variant. I'm impressed. I'm intrigued by that as well.
Alrighty, Tokyo Sidekick. Now, I can't tell that this is a game that's based on an IP. It doesn't sound like it is. It sounds like they just made it up.
Yes. Yeah. To me, this looks like obviously very close to some IPs that are out there, but not exactly.
Oh, no kidding. These are very much copycat to the point where they're like, there's a final bad guy, Godzilla. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
Japanime for me is all over the board with their gameplay.
Yeah.
This is a superhero game that uses a game board, and there's not many of those. Most superhero games are card games or some various thing like that. So I hope it's good, but it does look like there's a lot of text, and I don't know. I'm not confident in the gameplay, and I'm definitely not confident in the theme.
Right.
What do you think about these standees?
Those I like. These acrylic standees.
The acrylic standees I can get down.
I like acrylic standees, and I wouldn't mind if this became a standard in the industry that if you were going to use standees, you use acrylic ones.
I agree.
Instead of cardboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
My only concern is with standees, as far as I know, they only print one side. So you see, like, it'll look the same from both sides as opposed to like a front and a back. They can't do that. I haven't seen it anyway. And acrylic looks really good to me anyway through the acrylic, like the image printed on the back of the acrylic, and I look at it through the acrylic plastic, it looks good. When I look at the other side, that it's just printed right on the plastic, I don't like the look of that.
See, I'm the opposite. I like the other side. We actually debate this every time we get one of those dice towers in from the E-Raptor.
Okay.
We're like, which way do you build it? Do you build it with the acrylic in or out? And so,
but I agree, they look good. They look real good.
If I'm playing Yuzi, it's not a problem. I'll make them all face you one way.
Exactly. We'll both be happy.
All right, last one here. This is an expansion, or 2 expansions, for Spirit of the Forest. Now, this one has funded this much in a single day.
Yeah, it went live today, correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
And that's pretty impressive. I mean, Thundercliff has the Kickstarter thing down.
They do.
Yeah, they're one of those companies. They know how to revive a game or how to like produce a game to its absolute best possible version, like nobody else in the industry. I'm telling you, this game, Spirits of the Forest, is a reprint of an old, fairly ignored Michael Schott game.
Michael Schott game, yeah.
These guys took it. They added this insanely gorgeous artwork, their beautiful finish in production. They put it out. It did gangbusters business. And now this expansion made $120,000 in a day. I mean, that's, there's no denying they know what they're doing,
Sure.
So
I'm assuming you both have played this game.
I have.
Played the original, yeah.
And?
It's fine. I mean,
yeah, it feels like an old Michael Schott abstract with some beautiful art. It's okay. It's.
I used to own the original game with the original boring theme. I got rid of that, and I played this. Felt about the same. It's prettier, and I got rid of that. But again, that's irrelevant. This is doing well. People are clearly into this. It's amazing. Thundercliff knows how to do this well. There's a couple of companies, I think.
Yes.
These guys and Keymaster.
Right.
No matter what they touch, with their graphic design, their visual concepts, they know how to knock it out of the park.
True.
And this is proof in the pudding,
Yeah, it's very true.
All right, so it's time for picks of the week. I always make you guys go first, so I'll go first this time.
Oh.
My pick is pretty simple. What do you think?
Dead Reckoning.
That's correct. Like I said, I feel like this game, I mean, there's a lot of good games. The Ascension one looks really good, and I even like that little Surrealist one a lot, and that 2 to 3 player one. I had a lot of choices this week, but Dead Reckoning, that's all my bells and whistles, man. That is a game that as soon as that shows up, I am playing it. Yeah. I am super pumped about it. So
it does look
my pick of the week, Dead Reckoning.
Who's next?
Who's next?
Who's next?
Who's next?
All right, Z, go ahead.
Who's next?
Z.
All right. Well, I already have my pick picked out. I don't want to change it. My pick is Dead Reckoning as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks really silly good. It is, you know what it is for me? I think this is finally I'm trying to find it here. There it is. For me, it is I'm not a big fan of Mystic Veil. I just don't like the gameplay that much. I think the card crafting thing is cool. It's a cool idea in a boring game. For me, this is finally, it seems to be, the game that's going to do justice, in my eyes, to that cool mechanical idea in a game that seems to be bringing it with the theme, the setting, the vibe, the content. My goodness, there's like insane amounts of content in this thing. This looks immersive. This looks cool. And it looks like it's taking proven things from other games, putting them in there. I'm happy with that. I don't need this game to be that innovative. I just need it to be good.
Yeah.
This is what I'm getting, you know? So I agree with you, Tom. Yeah, this is my pick, man. Looks real good.
All right, if Mike picks it, that's a three-way.
No, Mike is going to pick...
Go ahead.
Riders.
You said Whale Riders?
Now, I'm going to say that dice... I'm going to say the big one from the dinosaur one.
Perseverance? What was it? Persistence?
Yeah,
Perseverance.
Tom is right. Yeah, I'm going to go with Perseverance, the Castaway Chronicles. Really quickly though, this was a really solid lineup. I am backing Whale Rider, so I'm interested in that. Dead Reckoning looks fantastic. Honestly, Z, it's interesting you mentioned it because the one thing that concerns me is that card crafting system because I don't know how that's going to work because I don't love that system, but I'm interested in trying it. But to me, this was my clear choice because I don't play as many heavy games maybe as a lot of other people do. But when I do, these are the ones that really scratch that itch for me. The Mind Clash games just work for me. These the theme I think is really interesting. I think the dice placement mechanism, they've done really neat things with dice placement where it's kind of become an overdone thing. That's become almost, another dice placement game. Theirs never feel like another dice placement game. They always seem to do something
no one's accusing
unique.
them of being a copycat.
Right. So, yes, it's probably going to be a bear to learn and teach. It's going to probably take a long time to play. But if I'm going to play a game like that, this is going to be the one I want to play. So I'm going with Perseverance as my pick of the week.
Cool. It's a good lineup. It is a good lineup.
It is.
I'm still loving those yellow dice, man, but I'm not dropping $60.
No.
But do you want to be a character at Ascension?
How much?
No, if I was going to buy it for you.
Oh, gosh. Give me the money.
I know.
The car instead.
I made a donation in your name, Z.
To the Human Fund.
All righty. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Mike Delicio. Take care, everybody.
Have fun gaming and kickstarting.